What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at more of the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including more WWE wrestlers self-isolating, Matt Hardy reveals his true feelings on Vince McMahon, WWE snubs CM Punk, and why they could be angry with him, has the WWE ESPN Plus deal collapsed, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos. But let's waste no further time and get straight into the first story as we look at more WWE wrestlers self-isolating. Now, in yesterday's news we mentioned why Paige was not present on SmackDown as she appeared via Skype, and it's because she's part of a number of wrestlers who don't feel safe in traveling. One WWE couple in particular have told of their unwillingness to travel and keep self-isolated. Ringside News reported that both Carmella and Corey Graves have refused to travel. Now, this is purely speculation, but it could be why Tamina was inserted into the WrestleMania 6-pack challenge match. And perhaps first choice was Carmella, but since she didn't want to travel, they were forced to go with Tamina. Again, that's purely speculation. Next up, Matt Hardy reveals his true feelings on Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon has been accused of being out of touch with what wrestling fans really want, a topic that comes out amongst fans and former WWE stars. But now that he's out of the WWE, Broken Matt Hardy has shared more anecdotes about his last run in the WWE and his true opinion of Vince McMahon. When one person asked whether he still likes Vince on Twitter, he tweeted back, "Yes, I have great respect for Vince and I always will be grateful for the opportunities he gave me. I had to leave because we didn't share the same visions for my future. My decision to leave was ultimately based on business to ensure my own happiness going forward." But although Matt has repeatedly thanked Vince McMahon and WWE for all his opportunities, he hasn't shied away from discussing the promotion's shortcomings, one being Vince McMahon is totally out of touch. Hardy appeared on Talk Is Jericho and told Le Champion what happened backstage when he screened the Ultimate Deletion match against Bray Wyatt for Vince McMahon.
But like, he watched it in the production meeting, and a few people in there had watched it already. But after it was over and ended, everybody like clapped and stood up, and he was just kind of like looking around, and he told a couple people, I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I mean, if it does good, if it does a number, then I'm truly out of touch. I think he said that. You know, it kept the audience over 3 million viewers, which was cool.
We would like to know if Vince understands just how out of touch he is, or whether this was a brief passing moment of lucidity. Next up, is WWE upset with CM Punk for leaking information? Did they really snub him? Now, earlier today we reported on Vince's true opinion of CM Punk and why WWE didn't want to involve him in this year's WrestleMania. But there could be more to the story, as Meltzer revealed that it could be that CM Punk leaked backup plans for Mania. On the Wrestling Observer Radio, he mentioned, "I think it's one show a month, but as far as how long, I don't know. I do know that WWE is pretty negative on the idea of Punk wrestling, more than I thought they would be, but they are. I think the ideas between Bill Goldberg and Edge and Undertaker and people like that, they've got their fair share of guys like that. There's a lot of bitterness. Apparently there's more bitterness on the WWE side right now than on the Punk side. I would have thought it would be the other way around." Brian Alvarez then mentioned, "Well, he has taken plenty of shots on Twitter. He even gave away the June date for WrestleMania back when that was being rumored." Meltzer then replied, "Yeah, when they were talking about June 7th, yeah, he did do that." To further point out the frosty relationship between him and WWE further, it looked as if they snubbed the straight-edge superstar in a recent tweet. WWE tweeted, "From Motorhead and Triple H to Snoop Dogg and Sasha Banks, these WrestleMania musical entrances are the coolest." But then Living Colour, who retweeted it, who produces CM Punk's entrance music, said, "Hey WWE, no CM Punk at WrestleMania 29? Was this a case of snubbing, or was it just overlooked?" Next up, has the WWE ESPN Plus deal collapsed? It looks like the rumored deal between the WWE and ESPN Plus isn't going to happen. Wrestling Scuttlebutt has it that the WWE is looking to sell the rights to stream its pay-per-views to a streaming service, much as the UFC did with ESPN Plus. By most reports, ESPN Plus was the top candidate, but negotiations appear to be done. During an episode of the Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer revealed, I've heard that they're far apart on money. Vince wants a figure and I don't know if it's accurate. They are in negotiations, but the figure I heard, and again I don't know if it's accurate and I'm not going to give a number, but it was way higher than the UFC number, and I thought, well, there's no way that they're paying that. And maybe it's like a first number, or Vince actually believes that his pay-per-views are worth more than UFC's. And again, is ESPN gonna jump into a big financial thing? At a time when sports are on hold, one might think that wrestling could provide some much needed content for a site such as ESPN+. However, the current health crisis also has some companies watching their budget. Meltzer would go on to say, "I don't see anyone getting into our big hundreds of millions of dollar deal right now until this blows over." This could change, and ESPN Plus isn't the only game in town. Things could quickly change once things settle down. Next up, AEW announces a title match for the 25th March Dynamite. Although AEW currently only has 3 championships, that doesn't mean that these belts are the only ones that can be defended in the promotion. Thanks to its partnership with AAA Wrestling, AEW performers have competed in AAA and vice versa, with Kenny Omega holding AAA's Mega Championship. Now, Omega is scheduled to defend the belt against Inner Circle's Sammy Guevara in what should be an exciting match. Guevara has already shown a lot in the ring, and this match could be his next step in his rise to the top. Next up, some sad news as WWE Hall of Famer is dealing with Bell's palsy. Robert Gibson has been diagnosed with Bell's palsy, but he wants to let the fans know he is doing better. Gibson, one half of the legendary tag team The Rock and Roll Express, appeared on his School of Morton podcast to let the fans know what happened.
Last Tuesday, I woke up and get ready to go to the gym, and I went downstairs and had me a cup of coffee, and I noticed the coffee running out of my mouth. It really scared me. I ran up, I ran in the bathroom and looked, and I seen that my face looked disfigured.
The 61-year-old WWE Hall of Famer went to the hospital because he thought he might have suffered a stroke. The doctors diagnosed Gibson with Bell's palsy, informing him,
"They told me it was brought on by stress and everything, but I have a touch of Bell palsy. It looks like it's starting to clear up a little bit. I can shut my eyes and start talking. But I just wanted to tell the wrestling world out there, if you see me, don't run off. I'm doing good. Physical-wise, I'm great."
Fans likely recall that Jim Ross has dealt with Bell's palsy during his career, and recently NXT UK performer Piper Niven recently announced she's been diagnosed with the condition. All we can say is we wish Mr. Gibson a full and fast recovery. Next up, AEW's original plans for Blood and Guts. Wrestling is all about timing, whether it's opponents' timing in the ring or promoters knowing when to hold special matches. One example of this is the AEW match known as Blood and Guts, the double cage match reminiscent of one Dusty Rhodes' greatest creations, War Games. AEW can't call its double cage match War Games since the WWE owns the trademark, so it renamed it Blood and Guts, scheduling the 10-man battle between the Elite and the Inner Circle for a special edition of Dynamite on 25th March. AEW chose to reschedule the match due to it being unable to run shows with fans present, but it promised it will take place somewhere down the road. Turns out the match might have taken place earlier, at least according to Chris Jericho. During an episode of his podcast Talk is Jericho, Le Champion revealed AEW wanted to run the match in Atlanta, Georgia, the site of the first ever War Games match held in 1987's Great American Bash pay-per-view.
Actually, one of the original ideas for Blood and Guts for next week, which was supposed to be in Newark in front of 14,000 people, was to do it in Atlanta because they really wanted to pop the Atlanta market, which was also an arena. Right. It was right in the middle of Cody and MJF, Jericho and Moxley, the Kenny, Bucks, Hangman thing. It's like, we can't just plop a freaking double cage match into Atlanta just because that's the place we want. I said, right. Where are we the next match? We orchestrated that we'll get done with our stories. February 29th is the pay-per-view. Then Elite Inner Circle can go on. I said, what's the rush? We have weekly television. We have plenty of time to tell all our stories.
AEW made the right choice, and it's an example of their understanding of long-term planning being preferable to hotshot booking. When Blood and Guts does take place, it'll be fascinating to see how it compares to War Games matches. Are you looking forward to this match? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Gail Kim praises WWE Hall of Fame inductees. Although former WWE superstar Gail Kim has been critical of Vince McMahon and the WWE, she had nothing but praise for 2020 Hall of Fame inductees Brie and Nikki Bella. While some fans have questioned the Bella twins' induction, Kim thinks they are solid picks. Speaking with Wrestling Inc., she explained, "A couple of weeks ago someone said that they were part of the Diva Search, and I didn't even remember that. They got rid of the stigma and they've made a brand out of themselves. They are truly an inspiration to other women in the business. Kim also spoke about Kayfabe, the entertainment project she's working on alongside with Christy Hemme and Lita, pilot for a show chronicling the experiences of a women's wrestling federation, similar to Glow. And finally, Billy Gunn discusses one of the perks of being in DX. Billy Gunn reminded fans why there are perks to being a WWE superstar. AEW's podcast AEW Unrestricted has allowed its stars, several of whom are former WWE superstars, to share their experiences in and out of the ring. Billy Gunn appeared on the recent episode and discussed one of the benefits of being in D-Generation X at the time. We would walk around downtown New York and get girls to take their tops off just because we could. We would do silly things like that, but it was more to just see if we could do it. And they would look and go, sure. And you go, what are we doing right now? While it's probable it will never happen, Wrestlelamia would love to see DX publish a tell-all memoir similar to Motley Crue's infamous book, The Dirt Confessions of the World's Most Notorious Rock Band. Imagine the stories as well as what a Netflix adaptation might be like. But there you have it guys, the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.